It's a beautiful day here at Varsity Field in Central South Carolina as we celebrate Senior Day as the Southern Wesleyan University Warriors taking on the Ferrum Panthers for the first time in both program histories. And of course, with all the seniors that we're celebrating today, we're expecting a pretty good game as this is one of the winningest senior classes in Southern Wesleyan history. Colin Calvert alongside the Mike G, athletic director here at Southern Wesleyan, former baseball center and former baseball coach here at SWU. And we are looking forward to a, like I said, pretty good game here. I want to get your overall takes for both these teams and our keys to the game.
You know, I think it's going to be a great Conference Carolinas doubleheader here this afternoon. The one thing is we were talking just off air as well, you know, Southern Wesleyan, the softball team this year, as you mentioned, this class is going to be one of the winningest in the history of the program, and a lot of that goes to the pitching staff. You know, talking with Mallory Ardeeser, the assistant coach, the pitching coach, back in the fall, she was real excited about this staff coming in. And if you look at the team ERA, a 2.22 earned run average, that is phenomenal. In years past, we've had one, maybe two pitchers that could really help the program, but as you look across through here, I mean, it's really a staff. And I know a lot of times softball teams, you know, they can ride one, maybe two pitchers the entire year. You know, Coach Ardeeser has a lot of possibilities he can go to. And I think that's been, in my opinion, the strength of this team. Now, obviously, they hit 300 as a group. But, you know, 27 home runs, they can produce runs at an alarming rate. But that and the left side of the infield, with Megan Ware and Maddie Crouch, I mean, the fielding percentage on the left side of the infield is really, really good. You know, with Ferrum coming in, Ferrum I think is 2-16 and 3-19 rather in the conference, 2-16 in the division. So, as you mentioned, the first time we'll get an opportunity to see them, and so I think that's going to be something a little bit different. So the scouting report is really just on paper, nothing that we've been able to do prior to in the season.
As we welcome up our very first batter of the day for the Panthers. Of course, like you said, it's a very low ERA for this SWU team, boasting that team ERA of 2.22. And one thing you really got to notice about them is the home record. They protect Varsity Field with everything. They've got 13-3 at home compared to a Ferrum team that 1-15 away. A tale of two stories there, Mike. Of course, up first for this Ferrum team, number 18, Miss Carson Hogston. 231 batting average. Made 3 starts so far this season. This will be her 4th in 17 appearances. Just her 14th at bat here as well. Looking to be a bit of a slap hitter. She knocks this one up and out of play. Far left side. So a pretty good start here for Ferrum. They're keeping the count quite even here. It's a 2-2 count with Collins starting in the circle for the Warriors. One of those senior pitchers on that well-decorated staff. Now, for Collins, she has had herself quite the career as a Warrior. School leader in combined shutouts, 11th in strikeouts, 7th in appearances, 4th most wins. This one right to shortstop, and we'll see a quick single. And a nice at-bat to start out here for Ferrum. Would you count that as an error?
I'm going to go with a hit with that. Simply she had to leave her feet. And then that's the thing, as you mentioned with softball, if you're a left-handed hitter and you got any speed at all and you're a slap hitter, wow. I mean, the infield has to be ready to go.
And for Hogston, just her 4th total base. We're seeing some short ball being played. Collins on to first. That'll be an out there. Of course, the advancement for Hogston there from first to second gets Ferrum closer and closer into scoring position. Evans, 267 batting average. 16 hits so far on the season, just 5 runs, but she's got 2 doubles at her disposal and 1 home run. But the real category you want to look out there for her is the 8 RBIs she's had so far this season as we look towards a 1-1 count here. Hoxton there on second. For Ferrum, coming off really one of their first conference wins of the season. Of course, we mentioned how in their division they've had 2 wins, conference play overall. They've got 3, but coming off a big one against Lees McRae. Lees McRae sitting bottom of that Northwest division, but hey, a conference win is a conference win. They split the series with them. First game was a 3-13 loss. Second one around was a 7-5 win with 7 total hits, 7 total runs. So they were pretty efficient on that side. Collins, of course, as a pitcher has been 1.3 ERA as the season's gone along. She's got a 5-2 win-loss record in the 13 appearances she's made so far this season. Of course, mentioned that she was 7th in all-time SWU history in appearances in the circle, and she is a leader, that's for sure. Her, Haig, the lone 2 seniors that appear in the circle, but both are dual threats as well. Swing and a miss, and Ferrum will have their first strikeout of the day. 2 outs on the board here for Collins in her defense. And they're going to bring up number 17 in Hannah Hooper. 218 batting average. She's got a lot of power behind that swing. 5 home runs coming in to this matchup. 14 RBIs at her disposal. That on-base percentage sitting at .368, a slugging percentage of .527. So Collins looks to work the plate with her. It's a 1-0 count. That one going way high. An advancement from second to third. Ferrum inching closer and closer to finding the first run of the day. Remember, it's Hoxton sitting there at third, just biding her time, but a 2-1 pitch count in favor of the Panthers. With a little bit of wiggle room is going to be good here for Hooper. She swings at it, evens things up. So with the 2-2 count, here's the final swing and the final pitch of the top of the first. And we are seeing the job get done in the circle for the Warriors. Now, will the bats be hot heading to the bottom? We'll see here shortly on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. And we welcome you back here to Varsity Field. It's Senior Day, and we're looking to see some of these senior bats lead off for the Warriors. They kept things close, and they kept things tight there on the scoreboard. Remains a big fat goose egg for Ferrum. Now it's going to be up to the defense to stop this ruthless and powerful Southern Wesleyan University offense. It's Marissa Moreland out of Rossville, Georgia, to get things going in her 86th at-bat of the season. She started now 25 games for the Warriors in the 31 appearances she's seen. And, man, she's a freshman who does not play like one by any means. 341 batting average, had a home run last week. I mean, in all honesty, she's got everything.
I've had an opportunity this year to watch a good many of the home games, and I am really excited to watch her career develop here as a Warrior. The last month, in my opinion, she's probably been one of the hottest hitters on the team. There's no doubt about that. She really kind of woke up and got the Mugshot Coffee Student Athlete of the Week, and ever since then, she's been doing just that, getting on base and 5 home runs, 27 RBIs for a freshman. That's nice.
And here she's going to be walked all the way to first, trots her way there, and brings up Miss Reagan Fulcher. A lot of Georgians on this squad. She's out of Comer, making her 39th appearance this season. She started every single game that she's appeared in. And of course, this is a Warriors team that comes in now having played 39 total games. They're on a 4-game win streak as of right now. And again, that home record, it speaks for itself. What do you think is the biggest shifting factor as to why that home record is so impressive? Is it the fans? Is it the energy? What is it?
That's a good question. A lot of times when there's a home court or a home field advantage, there's something unique to the venue. I mean, it's a beautiful field here, but there's nothing unique. The dimensions are standard. The stands are pretty much average. I don't know. I guess the team just enjoys playing at home. It is a beautiful facility, but that's a good question, to be honest with you.
And who knows, maybe it's the weather factoring is. We have some beautiful weather out today, and we have over the past few weeks. I mean, it's crazy to think just a little bit over a month ago it was snowing here in Central, and now we have ourselves sunshine and around 80 degrees is going to be the high today. Rebecca Lamb, one of the many talented catchers on this team, steps up to the plate. Another Georgian native out of Locust Grove, Georgia. 31 hits this season, just 16 runs for her. Here's the pitch. She swings at it, gets a piece of it. Coming off 3 RBIs in that Game 2 of the Erskine series. It was a dominant win there for the Warriors. They finished that one out 10-2 through 7 innings. That first game against Erskine, well, in all honesty, I shouldn't say first. The first game of the second day of the 4 matches that we saw. Because, of course, April 2nd was full of the Erskine Flying Fleet. Then April 7th was full of the Erskine Flying Fleet. I think the Warriors were tired of seeing them by the end of it. But
yeah, weather played a little bit of a factor in that scheduling.
At the end of the day, we saw the Warriors with a complete set of stat padding scoring. We saw one of those games result in a 15-0 shutout. And I'll just go ahead and list you all 4 final scores. 5-1 the first, 15-0 the second, 6-1 the third, 10-2 the fourth, and final. 2 of those, the first 2 took place up in DeWitt, South Carolina. This one sent high and wide. We'll see the attempted steal onto and a quick home base grab. First run of the day, courtesy of the Warriors.
Warriors do a really good job of situational hitting. When they get runners in scoring position, they do a really good job of actually plating those runners, which is huge. You mentioned just a couple more interesting facts. With a 13-3 home record, 2 of those losses was against a 33-10 Francis Marion team and a 27-13 Young Harris. So the losses they do have were against quality and ranked teams as well.
And for Francis Marion, one of the top 25 in the nation at the moment. And then you look at Young Harris right below SWU in the Southwest Division. Francis Marion dominating the East, a 15-3 division record, a 17-5 in conference play, and like you said, 33-10 overall on the season. As Chloe Smith out of Villa Rica, Georgia. Another one of the dual threats here for Southern Wesleyan. Last time she was in the circle was against Shorter, but we saw her play quite well in that final game against Erskine. Was 2 for 3 in at-bats, had 2 doubles and RBI, and then 1 home run in that series as well. Nothing shy of impressive, especially whenever you get to see a pitcher head up to the plate. What do you think the advantages of being a pitcher that can bat so well?
I think it's huge, to be honest with you. Just kind of keeps you into the game. If you're struggling on the mound or in the circle, you can do some damage at the plate and vice versa too. It also helps too. I know in Olivia Haig's situation, she's actually been the pitcher of record several times.
As Haig's ball up and away and snagged here right center of the infield. And that'll do it there for the Warrior Bats. Remains 0-0 here as we head to the top of the second. Conference Carolina's Digital Network. Welcome back here to Varsity Field. And my apologies earlier. It was a 1-0 game here as we head to the top of the second. And Ferrum already. The bats are hot, and they're looking good as this one slung deep into center field. The Southern Wesleyan Warriors have got to keep on their P's and Q's. This may be a very unimpressive record-wise Ferrum team, but man, they have some momentum coming in after that Lees-McRae game. Many of them thought that this Ferrum team wouldn't go very far this season, but doesn't mean they won't surprise you every now and then.
Exactly. And they've got 21 home runs on the season. Smith there has 3, only batting 190, but 3 home runs and 16 RBIs. So a couple of them have some pop in their bat.
As we look towards Miss Lacey Garrett, 220 batting average on the season. Not very often you're seeing softball players don the number 80.
Well, we've got 80, 88, 73 on the roster, so
of course the highest one for Southern Wesleyan's number 99, Miss Riley Brown. But yeah, definitely never seen an 80, an 88 before in my time as a commentator. As Collins goes ahead, situates herself back in the circle. It's a 1-2 count in favor of Miss Collins. Of course, her final year as a Southern Wesleyan University Warrior, in this pitch off the metal and up and in to the glove of number 3 for the Warriors. And Miss Megan Ware has been nothing shy of dominant there at third. And we mentioned her a little bit off air, just how impressive she's been overall as a season. I mean, her fielding statistics, out of this world.
Definitely when you can, in baseball and softball, when the left side of your infield has the stellar gloves like these two do, that takes a lot of pressure off the pitcher too. All you're trying to do is get a ground ball left side, and they're very impressive. There's no doubt about that.
And it's a very different Ferrum lineup than we're used to seeing, as we see Miss Emily Wood, number 21, in the black and gold, step up to the plate, making her 19th start of the season. But get this, she's only had 5 at-bats now, and yet to don a hit, yet to don a run. Any batting statistic besides 1 RBI is the only thing she's seen so far this season. So we've seen a few of those type of players come into this starting lineup for the Panthers. Your thoughts on that? Maybe just trying to switch things up, find something that works?
Exactly, trying to switch some things up. Maybe getting some playing time for some of the players that haven't had an opportunity. Could also just trying to get geared up for next year and see what they're going to need to do in terms of recruiting.
Of course, Ferrum out of Ferrum, Virginia, and we're going to see Wood swing on this one. The righty in the bright pink gloves, just trying to make some work here on Collins. We'll see if she can. Here's the pitch. Off Lamb's head there. Thankfully, she's got the face mask on. We saw a bit of contact made with the bat. Keeps us at a full count here. It's 3-2. Of course, going back to the Southern Wesleyan bats, it was Miss Marissa Moreland, the freshman out of Rossville, Georgia, that scored that opening run for the Warriors, brings them to the 1-0 lead. And now Ferrum with number 12 for them, Samantha Smith, on second. We're going to see if Wood can try and get her home, but instead it's going to be a second strikeout there for Collins. That will put Ferrum really in their place batting-wise. Miranda Shields, .254 batting average. 2 home runs on the season. One of the many that donned 2 or more home runs. You mentioned it earlier, 21 on the season for Ferrum. Nothing shy of a powerful swing.
Only 6 fewer than the Warriors have on the season. They have 27, but obviously the team, Southern Wesleyan hitting 300 as a team, and Ferrum just 232. That's kind of the difference in the records right now, as well as the pitching. What I've noticed about Emily Collins, too, when she's not on the mound or not in the circle pitching, she's one of the first ones out of the dugout every single inning. I'm not sure if she's a team captain or not, but she definitely is a team leader in keeping the team focused.
And Lamb snags the final out of the top of this inning. We'll see at the bottom and see if the Warrior bats will remain hot. Back here at Varsity Field with the one, the only Mike G. Beside me, my name's Colin Calvert here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network as we reintroduce the SWU bats. And man, they're coming out to play, that's for sure. But first, they've got to get through Miss Emily Wood, who we saw bat recently. She's throwing a .431 ERA, 4.9 win-loss record in the 18 appearances that she's had. Pitched 76 total innings, second most on the squad. Now, Mike, I got to ask you, for a team like Ferrum, who's making the jump into D2 this year, first time in the Conference Carolinas, so far, what is your outlook for them in the next few years? Do you see a lot of progress? Because they've impressed slightly here today.
They really have, and if you look, at all their sports, you've seen them make some progress throughout this year, and you have to think that, just having that Division II tag from a recruiting standpoint, being in the Conference Carolinas, which is one of the top conferences, Division II conferences in the country, that's only going to help them in bringing in the quality student athletes they're looking forward to having.
They were the 16th team in the Conference Carolinas, a very big conference as well, and like you said, nothing short of talent for sure, as we see Miss Abby Schreiner batting a team-high 378 on the season, head on to first base. Man, she has been fun to watch. The senior out of Kenton, Georgia, going off just one RBI against Erskine in Game 2, and see this one smacked by Maddie Crouch. 91st at-bat for the sophomore. She was a very decorated recruit coming out of high school, but it feels like she's been underperforming at the plate this season. She was batting .318 as a freshman, gets a piece of it there, and we'll see the bobbled ball from third base and advances. SWU, they've got runners on first and second. Schreiner, Don second, and it's Crouch there on first.
That's the one area. Kind of coaches always want to be strong up the middle, whether it's baseball or softball. And, you mentioned Maddie, and I mentioned this as well this season. She's struggling a little bit at the plate, only hitting .222 entering the game. But what she does with her glove at shortstop is incredible.
Definitely that. And that's what you got to do if you're struggling there at the plate. Make up for it in the field. That's how you stay in that starting lineup. And Megan Ware, man, we talked about her already from a fielding statistic, but 23 runs off 27 hits, 21 RBIs for her as well. Had a piece of every single game and gets a big piece of that ball, and that one is up, and over the fence. We have a 3-run shot. SWU leads it 4-0.
Colin, and I wish I would have said what I was thinking. You were running off her stats, and I looked down and said it's just going to be a matter of time before she gets her first home run. And, there it is. So,
man, sending Schreiner on for a run on her senior day is huge. Teammate helping teammate. And we also saw Crouch score. And then who else but Megan Ware out of Fuquay Arena, North Carolina, to have her 24th run be a home run, the first of her season. And what's crazy is that she started off really slow this season as well, batting just .091. Now batting .290 and probably more, as that home run will boost that batting average by a mile. Riley Brown, a local out of Pelzer, South Carolina, up to the plate.
Riley's one of those hitters we talked about. Stands in the left-handed batter's box, good speed, slap hitter. Pretty much she puts the ball in play on the ground. She's got a great opportunity of beating it out.
And, of course, being a slap hitter, oftentimes you're a bit of a liability when it comes to the strikeouts. 19 strikeouts on her season, one of the top on the team, just below Maddie Crouch with 20. Her alongside Rebecca Lamb, both with 19, but not going to strike out there, but an even more impressive play from Wood in the circle. Snags that one out of thin air, and that would have been a good one had it escaped her grasp.
I would. I'd been right back up the middle. Got Riley Brown on first safely, and, of course, she can run a little bit, as we mentioned. She's 6 for 6 in the stolen base category.
Top of the lineup, Marissa Moreland. Man, that is a high-popped ball and snagged by the outfield of Ferrum. Defensively, they've been on the grind today. Nothing you can do about the Megan Ware home run, of course. Can't really leap over the fence unless you're a freak athlete, which I'm sure some of these ladies are, but just so much power behind that swing. And Moreland going to see herself back to the dugout. Still a pretty good advantage here for SWU, though, the 4-0 start. Reagan Fulcher, 31 hits so far on the season, 18 RBIs and 19 runs. Had a season best, 2 doubles, 2 runs against Shorter back late March.
This Warrior squad is capable of putting up a lot of runs in one inning, but the one thing that I've been most impressed about them is their consistency. It seems like they're scoring almost every inning in a lot of their games, and that's beneficial, and that takes a lot of stress off of a pitcher as well.
If your offense operates well and keeps runs on the board, and then, like you said, the stress can just melt away from a pitcher because they know they don't have to keep the game tight because the offense is going to, of course, give you a bit of leeway to work with. Doesn't mean there's any excuse for pitchers to play bad by any means, but again, the less stress you have on you, the better you're going to play as a pitcher. I feel like it's definitely more of a mental game.
Yeah, they're scoring just over 6 runs a game, and as a pitcher, when you go into a contest and you know that your offense is going to get you on average 6 runs, that's a pretty satisfying thought there.
Do you think that's why this pitching staff for SWU has been so elite this year?
It very well could be. I mean, they can pitch. They can pitch the heck out of it. There's no doubt about that. But there's a lot to be said when you can go out there and be relaxed. You're not trying to do everything and thinking you got to, hold the other team scoreless or 1 or 2 runs to get a game, a victory. That's definitely a benefit.
And some short ball leads us to the final out of this inning. See at the top of the third, it's a 4-0 lead for the Warriors. Welcome back to Varsity Field. It's 4-0 in favor of Southern Wesleyan. As they bring back up Miss Emily Collins to the circle. She's pitched lights out today already. 2 strikeouts for the senior. What better way to not finalize your career as a Warrior, but add to the already pretty high and pretty well-decorated career you've had.
Exactly, a great opportunity, and as their home, regular season home games is winding down, just getting ready for the conference tournament. They're going to go in as a high seed, and that's going to be great for them. Plus, it's locally in Spartanburg, so you can't beat that.
I'm very excited to be doing the public address for the Conference Carolina softball tournament.
Nice.
So, going to be able to go out, see SWU in person, and who knows, maybe the next few years we'll be able to see Ferrum find themselves in tournament positioning.
I was not aware you're going to be there. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Very good honor.
I appreciate it.
I will see you over there because we'll make the trip for sure.
Yeah, I cannot wait. It's going to be very exciting. Tiger River is a beautiful facility. My sister, who's going to be playing pitcher for Presbyterian in the next few years, got herself an opportunity to go play some college softball. Grew up going to see all her tournaments there at Tiger River, so I know that one like the back of my hand. But
so apparently she's the one who got all the athletic ability in the family.
It is. It's very true. It's very true. None came my way, that's for sure. None came my way. Yeah, she's definitely impressive. And being a pitcher, I'm sure her and Emily Collins can relate a lot to how when you have a good defense behind you, the game becomes so much easier. And for Collins, finds herself with another strikeout, third of the day. Hasn't really had to rely on her defense too much as this game's gone along, but she knows what they're capable of. And Ferrum, as we look towards their upcoming schedule, finalize this program first, doubleheader against the Warriors. Then they're going to take a trip to Due West tomorrow. So my question is, Due West is pretty local here, just down below Anderson. So my thought is, do they stay in a hotel maybe in Anderson and then travel on tomorrow? But this one, sent up, bottled up, played well by the Warriors. Olivia Haig snags that one in the outfield. Who said she couldn't do anything and everything? She does just about it all here for the Warriors.
She's been a great student athlete for the softball program and for our university as well.
Yeah, she was a transfer from Truett McConnell and steps in her sophomore year and does, like I said earlier, just about everything for this Warriors team, including win. And I think that's the biggest thing.
If I'm not mistaken, earlier in the season, I should have looked this up, but I believe she was the pitcher of record and also had either scored the game-winning run or RBI, or might have been a walk-off as well. So what a great opportunity that is to get the win and get the game-winning RBI.
Well, she's got the third most wins in school history, third most complete games, sixth most strikeouts in Southern Wesleyan history, and that's having not stayed all 4 years as well.
Correct.
Had the lowest ERA in school history with 1.46, and I'm sure we're going to see more of her today as, again, doubleheader. So potentially we could see Miss Haig step in the circle in that second game. But, of course, who knows what's in store? The Conference Carolinas and Southern Wesleyan always full of surprises, I feel. Then as I go back to Ferrum's schedule as they continue on this season, they're going to have that doubleheader against Erskine. Then next Saturday, they'll take on Francis Marion University. And, of course, Francis Marion in the top 25 in the nation in Division II. 33-10 record. It speaks for itself. That might be a tough one for the Panthers to claw through.
That'd be difficult. We had the opportunity to watch them play up here at the varsity field here probably a few weeks ago, and that's one of the more well-rounded teams that I've seen play in the conference.
There's Bradbury up to the plate. She's one of the offensive anchors and showing just why. But the legs aren't speedy enough to get her on to first, even with a quick SWU fumble there at second. So they get the job done defensively. Now we'll see if the bats come out to play once more. Welcome back. It's the bottom of the third, and it's a 4-0 lead for SWU. The momentum has been snowballing for them defensively, and we all know that great defense translates into great offense, and vice versa. We saw the 3-run shot there from Megan Ware at the bottom of the second. Can we see a repeat here, bottom of the third, with Miss Chloe Smith? Another dual threat out of Buford, Georgia. Apologies, not Buford, Georgia. Villarica, Georgia. Second time we've seen her today.
One thing I've noticed about this squad this year, too, is they are always in the game. You know, if you're not familiar with varsity field, press box is directly above the third base dugout, the home dugout, and they are constantly cheering. Got the bats on the roof. They definitely stay in the game.
Bats on the roof, that's for sure. I keep thinking an earthquake's happening, but then I realize it's just the SWU bats up under us. But it's interesting, the storyline that the SWU team has taken. They started off the season pretty rough, in all honesty, in that Embry-Riddle tournament. Won the first one by a huge margin against Mississippi College. Started off with a shutout. It was 10-0, the final score. Then against Embry-Riddle, Mississippi College, West Alabama, and Tampa, all losses there, 4 straight. Then they bounced back as they went up to the Lander tournament, where they faced off Emory and Henry. MGSU, this one up and away, snagged. And Miss Emily Haig, who's usually been a dual threat, has now popped out twice today.
It won't be long. Her bad to get going, if not the rest of this game, definitely in game 2. But, one thing Coach Clay Ardeeser has done this year, he strengthened his schedule. So that schedule, as you mentioned, they started off slow. They played some really good teams, especially when we went down to Florida. And that's the one thing he did, was strengthen his schedule this year, not only to get the team ready and conditioned for a tough Conference Carolina's regular season and tournament, but also helps that regional ranking going down the end of the season too.
It absolutely does. And I think one great thing that Coach Ardeeser is doing right now is, or had done in the beginning of the season, was expose all the flaws. Playing hard teams do that.
You're exactly right.
And so being able to see what's wrong, what's necessary to be fixed, is important as you go down the long stretch in the season. Of course, Francis Marion, we go back to the top 25, and you said the regional rankings are very important. The national rankings very important. Francis Marion 13th in the nation right now, and some local schools as well have donned that top 25. You see the likes of Lenore Ryan, of Carson Newman, of Wingate as well. All those teams sitting there in the top 25. But we have seen this SWU team grab a nice piece of some South Atlantic Conference teams, destroyed Emory and Henry, who's been playing pretty well this season. Also took down Lincoln Memorial in both games, and unfortunately lost to LR. The final game in that doubleheader was 4-5.
That's a tough one.
And again, took them all the way up to Hickory, North Carolina. But again, that was one of those games where you learn. That was early on in the season, as we're seeing where this ball, it's leaning towards the far left side, and it's going to be caught. It was a full count, too. Final out, no SWU runs. 4-zip remains your score. We'll see how Ferrum responds on the offensive. Back here at Varsity Field, the SWU defense ready to back up a very strong offensive past few innings. Last one wasn't as spectacular, but contact was made, and that means more, I think, than having those lackadaisical strikeouts. You're seeing them still make contact, still work the pitches, and I think that means more to a lot of offenses than anything else could.
Yeah, the Warriors do a good job. They attack early. They're very aggressive at the plate. But they do a good job of putting the ball in play, making contact. So anytime you can do that, I mean, you're obviously increasing your chances of getting on base.
So now it's the Ferrum Bats. And they're leading off this top of the inning with number 15, Peyton Evans. 60 at-bats. Just 5 runs off 16 hits. But 4 doubles, 8 RBIs, and the 1 home run. That on-base percentage a bit low, .353 on the season. Emily Collins trying to get out of this at-bat as quickly as possible. That one shrieking down the third base line, but it'll roll just before touching the bag. Collins takes a breath there in the circle, winds up, lets it loose. Some contact still being made here from Evans. Struck out 6 times this season. She's also been walked 6 times this season. And for Evans, I should now count it as 7 strikeouts. She struck out earlier by Collins. And for Collins, having now hit 50 pitches, 4 strikeouts already, just allowing 2 hits. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts there for Evans. And 5 now for the senior Collins.
Emily's doing a good job. She came in today, 15 walks, 31 strikeouts. So obviously that statistical category is going to move more in her favor throughout this game. Ferrum is prone to the strikeout as well. They struck out over 200 times this season. Warriors around the 167 mark.
What would you say the average would be for most softball teams in the conference as a whole?
I would say, and it's just clearly a ballpark figure here, probably average is going to be 5, 6 strikeouts a game, I would guess, just being 7 innings. The one thing I've noticed, too, and Southern Wesleyan's been in this category, they've had a lot of mercy run rules games. And so, they're only getting a chance to hit 4 innings worth. So that kind of plays into the overall statistics for the season as well. I was talking with Coach Ardeeser about that. It almost, it's great to win and win big, but you actually, in essence, you're losing 3 innings of at-bats every game that you win in, top of the 5th, and it's over. You can tell Collins is really fired up today. Perhaps, senior day, last opportunity to play here at Varsity Field, but it seems like she's got a little extra giddy up on that fastball.
Here's a nice hit, but going to be fouled out. Up, and away, and you look towards Collins overall this season. She's sitting there in the top 10 with Haig in ERA. 2.55 for her. That's 8th in the conference. Haig, she dons the very top. Leads with a 1.32. Like you said, this is one of the best pitching staffs that we think SWU has seen in its entirety as a program.
I would have to vote that for sure.
And what's really impressive is that not only the 6th strikeout of the day there for Collins, but just the fact how SWU is able to be so versatile with their pitching staff. You look towards the top few there in the conference, and you look towards Jenna Walling there for Francis Marion, having played 26 games in total compared to a Haig who's played just 12. But she's got people like Collins that can back her up, can step into the circle and make things happen. And multiple other pitchers as we see a quick bloop on to the second baseman. And that'll be good for a scoreless top of the inning for Ferrum. Heading to the bottom. We'll see you there. Back to the action, and the action are the SWU Bats. And it's a 4-zip game still. Haven't seen any scoring action since the bottom of the second. What do you think is the reason for the discrepancy, for the lack thereof batting action, as we welcome up to the plate number 9, Miss Maddie Crouch?
You know, it could just be Emily Wood. I mean, she does have a 4-9 record with a 4.31 earned run average, but the experience there, she's 76 innings pitched, 102 hits coming into the game, not a lot of strikeouts. But I was just going to say too, the one thing I've noticed a lot this year is the Warriors will be a 3, 4, 5 run lead in the bottom of the fourth. They'll score 4 or 5 and then throw a 0 in the top fifth, and game's over. So, be interesting to see how they respond here. It's almost like they can taste it, and they get right there to it, and they just raise their level up a little bit.
She's 4th on the team in regards to ERA. Allowed 102 hits, 57 runs, and the 47 errors have got to hurt.
That definitely hurts, and that goes back to the mentality that we were talking about earlier. You know, when you have a good defense behind you, it's easy to pitch. When you're worried about a team putting the ball in play, you tend to tighten up. You get a little stressed, muscles get tight, ball gets elevated, and before you know it, you got doubles in the gap. So,
Crouch swings, misses, and strikes out. That'll be her first strikeout of the day. She was one of the scoring runs there, bottom of the second. But Wood deals her there. Brings up Megan Ware. Will we see the hot streak continue for the sophomore? She was 3 for 3 with a triple against Erskine. Had 3 runs against Erskine as well, just in that second game on the 7th of April. And she was also perfect in the first game on April 7th. 2 for 2 with 2 stolen bases against the Flying Fleet. And that was after an 0-3 start against Augusta. So she's really bounced back since then. Coming close to tying her season-high 5 RBIs that she had against Johnson C. Smith early on in March.
And Ware definitely has the big hit of the game thus far, and not to kind of beleaguer the pitching, but again, I think it's important to what you've been talking about is you look, this is the Warriors' 39th game. They only have 18 complete games, and that's also kind of unique, I feel like, to softball pitching.
As Ware dots this one out towards center field, and it is easily dealt with.
So you're going to have multiple pitchers at different times. So that also allows the starting pitcher to go in, kind of head first, give everything they can. If they get to the 5th inning and they're kind of tiring or the offense has caught up to them, send somebody else out there, and that makes a difference as well.
It absolutely does. And that out there from Megan Ware welcomes up Riley Brown. We've seen quite a few locals on this SWU squad. Got to celebrate senior Chaylee Roper. We talked about her coming from Belton Honeypath. And then there's Brown, the junior, who will be celebrating next year on senior day out of Pelzer. And what's crazy is that Chaylee Roper's dad, drafted to the Minnesota Twins in his time, was the assistant coach there whenever Chaylee was at BHP. So it's cool to see all these locals get involved here at SWU. It's nice to have a local presence on the squad as well. Not just all these Georgians. Got to have some South Carolina representation for sure.
It also helps with your attendance. When you're local, you can get more family members involved.
Brown, not quick enough there at first. Another scoreless inning from the Warriors. Ferrum, defensively, have been unstoppable these past few. We'll see if the SWU defense responds in tow. Once again, SWU scoreless. But they remain at the 4-0 lead. Now it's going to be Ferrum to try and find their first run. The question is, can they? As they woke him up. Number 80 to the plate. Of course, we have talked about how interesting it is to have a number 80 and some short ball being played, and it'll spin up and out of play. Lamb corrals it well, and I like it. The patience. That was smart on them. Just let it roll. Don't try and make the hero play to first, because who knows what errors that could have accumulated.
Exactly, and that's the last thing you want to do is allow the leadoff hitter to reach on base due to an error. So good job there by Lamb, as you mentioned.
Lacey Garrett gets a nice piece of it. Great communication there from Southern Wesleyan. They're on the first or second base line, I should say.
Yeah, Marissa Moreland wanting to play second base there. She was pretty much in the dirt making that catch.
She said, you know what? I want this one. And Reagan Fulcher said, you know what? As long as it doesn't hit me, then I'm fine. There's already some good contact being made, but it's going to be kept in the SWU gloves for now. And 2 outs. Very quick here for the Warriors.
A couple of quick pop-outs there, and of course, as a pitcher, you love when that happens.
Less work you have to do. Now just about 3 pitches so far for Collins just in this top inning. And already here in the 5th.
That's the one thing you typically see when you get 2 quick outs. You want that third hitter to kind of see a pitch or two, but Ferrum staying aggressive at the plate as well.
Miranda Shields. She surpassed 60 at-bats today in this matchup. Swings at that one. Brings us to a 1-2.
Warrior baseball will be having first pitch this afternoon at 5 o'clock and hosting Belmont Abbey this weekend.
Yes, SWU baseball has been interesting. You've seen lots of big wins, and you've seen some surprising losses as well, but definitely something to look forward to. Like you said, first pitch going to be 5 p.m. here in Central.
Military Appreciation Day will be tomorrow, too. So if you are in the area, if you want to see a great event, make it to Connor Field around 12:15 tomorrow afternoon.
Shields lets this one fly up and away, deep in left field, and it is caught, and the SWU defense on top here. It's really been a defensive battle as this game could be coming to a close here soon, here on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. Back here as the SWU Bats have come out of the dugout, and they are ready to swing. Brings up number 7, Marissa Moreland. And she led off this game for the Warriors, and we'll see if she can continue to impress. Already scored once today. She was the opening run scorer.
You know, Colin, it wouldn't surprise me here. Warriors getting an opportunity to multiple times here. This could be their inning. Really played some runs.
Orland, she's quick to the scene with that swing, trying to get some contact early.
You know, we're kind of sitting here expecting to see some runs, but I mean, outside of the one pitch, Emily Woods pitched a good game.
Very good game. And it was since that pitch, really, that we've seen her step it up defensively. There must have been some sort of rallying cry that happened in the dugout right afterwards or there in the circle between multiple Panthers. And we saw a few drop balls there from the infield, even in the first few innings of play. They've really stood on business, as the young folks say.
You know, she's given up 11 home runs on the season, and that is kind of high. And so that could be instant inflation to an earner and average. So some of her statistics with a high ERA, the high home runs allowed, and the record at 4-9 could be a little misleading. And by watching her pitch today, I would think so.
Moreland gets a good chunk of it. That's deep into left field, but out of play. Now, Moreland this season, 5 home runs. Powerful hitter, so this is honestly the last matchup you want to see if you're Wood there in the circle. And for Moreland, also 10 doubles as well. She is not afraid of finding the bags. Gets a huge piece of it there, and that is sent deep, deep for a 6th home run of the season. The freshman standout continues the hot streak. 2 home runs for SWU today, both of them elite.
Yeah, Coach Ardeeser has to be ecstatic to know he's got Moreland around for 3 more years. Expect her to do a lot in the conference tournament.
That's going to be where many players like her shine the most under that pressure. And a lot of people say that pressure can burst pipes, but I think here in this case, it creates diamonds.
She just seems to play really loose out here on the diamond and just, always seems to have a smile on her face. So gets frustrated at times, as freshmen do, so that will come with experience, but having a great first-year campaign.
Yeah, been there, done that. The freshman frustration is what they call it. You expect a lot of yourself. You have a lot of expectations, especially whenever you play as well as she has. And whenever you can't play to that expectation, the frustration sets in. But maturity and playing multiple years at the collegiate level, it eventually rounds all that out. You start to see a kind of calm settle in there in the mind and know that, hey, you have obstacles in your career. But, man, right now, she's just been the obstacle for Ferrum.
Exactly right.
They lead 5-0 now.
If you're playing college athletics, regardless of the sport, you've obviously had a good high school career. And as you mentioned, you're coming off accolade after accolade in the high school, and all of a sudden it's a different level. And sometimes, freshmen react differently. But she's reacted very positively.
Big hit there from Fulcher off the wall. The Panthers trying to recalibrate. She works her way all the way to second. Huge double there for the junior out of Comer.
As I mentioned, starting the bottom of the 5th here, we seeing their 3rd time now seeing Emily Wood in the circle, and they're good hitters. They're a good hitting team, so they're going to make some adjustments. And so far, we've seen that here in this half inning.
Doesn't look like there's any other pitchers warming up here, so it seems as if Ferrum is going to rely on her solely to get the job done. But a 5-0 deficit isn't very large in the realm of softball. That's something that could easily be come back from if you have yourself a good half inning. But they've got to contend with the rest of the SWU bats here. 0 outs on the board. Lots of wiggle room for the Warriors. And Rebecca Lamb skyrockets this one deep, and that one's off the wall. On the way is Fulcher. She finds home plate, and back-to-back doubles for the Warriors. Rebecca Lamb out of Locust Grove, Georgia, gets it that time. Had 3 RBIs in the second matchup against Erskine, and grabs another one there.
The Warrior bats have awakened, and I believe the Ferrum's going to possibly make a pitching change here. You mentioned nobody's warming up, so I'm looking if somebody from the field's going to – nope, coming in now.
It looks like for Ferrum, they're going to bring out number 3, Sophia Peters, a 7.30 ERA. No wins, no losses on the season, but she's appeared 9 times, allowed 25 total hits, 20 runs, 16 errors, and 12 batters walked. 15.1 total innings pitched. Your thoughts on that stat line?
You know, I was just looking through there, and it looks like they only have 2 starters. They've had one other pitcher start. And so Peters coming in and obviously in a difficult situation. As you mentioned, just over 15 innings pitched. So she's been in situations where she's probably had to do some cleanup work, some mop-up work, and this might be one of those situations where you come in. You know, the Warriors are only 2 runs away from ending this game here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. So that can be a little demoralizing for a pitcher coming out of the bullpen in relief because, you know, you already have a runner in scoring position and a big fly and the game's over. So that's tough mentally.
And, of course, give credit where credit's due. Wood had a phenomenal few half innings. And at some point, not the luck per se has run out, but at some point you run out of steam. And there it seemed like she had just run out of steam. She surpassed over 70 pitches. And so it was time for a bit of relief for her.
Yeah, the Warriors getting that third to look at her, and a good hitting club is going to do that. They're going to make adjustments, and that's exactly what they did here this afternoon. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me with Chloe Smith at bat. This game might end soon.
Was 2 for 3 in at-bats against Erskine. That was just in the second game as well. Had a home run in the first. A home run here, like you said, could deal the finishing blow. But instead, she drives it down the third baseline and just out of play. Struck out last go-around. We'll see if she bounces back. She's had 2 strikeouts so far today. But hitting .317 on the season, one of the many that's hitting in that realm. Here's the pitch. This one is a fair ball. On the way comes Lamb. She's quick to home. And we're going to see Chloe Smith with a huge blow dealt. And all it took was a nice speedster right down the third base line.
That was a hard-hit ball, no doubt.
Man, you could hear it.
One of those times you don't want to be playing third base in softball.
And, man, it may have had a bit of the traction from hitting the dirt, but not enough. Like you said, would hate to have been the third baseman there. Olivia Haig, the dual threat, one of the best players, dual threat players, pitchers, hitters in all of SWU history.
Senior day, you know, Olivia would love to end this game right here.
But she can with one big hit past that black-lined fence. Plenty of fans out there watching and awaiting for what could be that finishing blow. We'll see how she works up against this brand new face in Sophia Peters in the circle. Peters sends it, and there goes Haig, trotting her way onto first. Runners outline 2 points of the diamond. And now they bring in one of the best, most consistent hitters on this team in Abby Schreiner. 1 walk today, just her second at bat, but .365 with 4 home runs in her pocket, 24 RBIs. The 25th and 26th, or even just the 25th one, could be the best one for this SWU team. If you're a SWU right now, if you're Abby Schreiner, what's your go-to here? What are you trying to do?
You know, just trying to put a ball in play. Pretty much, you know, Smith is a good runner at second base. There's no outs. We're not going to take any unnecessary chances, but Coach Ardeeser is aggressive on the base pass as well. So any ball that's hit to the outfield on the ground, they're going to be looking to score. And That's all Abby's trying to do. She's done it before. She's experienced, and she'll be a good at bat.
And what's crazy for SWU fans, there's only a goose egg there in the out column. There is so much space for Coach Ardeeser to work with.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough for Ferrum right here. And as I mentioned earlier in the game, the Warriors seem to just feed off producing adversity for the other team and back-to-back hits. And this is what we've seen here in this half inning and scoring some runs. So
here's the pitch from Peterson. Up, and away, some advancement. From first to second, second to third, it's going to be Smith within scoring position to end this game.
Yeah, you really got to lock Southern Wesley's chances right here. A lot of things have to happen. Infield's got to play in to cut the run out at the plate, and just opens up more opportunities for Schreiner.
Here comes Schreiner. The drop, third strike, and good. That'll be your ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Smith walks it off. And just like that, the very first matchup between the Panthers and the Warriors. The Warriors take it 8-0 through 5. For Mike G, I'm Colin Calvert. See ya in the next match. And the time has come as Southern Wesleyan and Ferrum face off for the second time today, second time in program history. And is Miss Chloe Smith in the circle for the Warriors. A 3-6 win-loss record, a 2.92 ERA. And man, she has some pretty big shoes to fill after an 8-0 shutout by Emily Collins, one of the multiple seniors that was celebrated today on Senior Day. This pitch will get hit right out to third base and right on to the glove of Lawson there at first. So easy said and easy done there for the Warriors. Played that first game through 5 innings. Ferrum made some contact, but it was a very strong SWU defensive presence that really shut them down, and shut them down well, too. The offense, they really fed off that. Megan Ware got things going, had a 3-run home run that really propelled SWU forward. They were the bottom of the second, and then after that, it was easy pickings. Now you look towards Chloe Smith, 50 innings pitched, second on the team. Coming into this series, of course, 30 strikeouts, which is last in the top 4 pitchers on this squad, which are McFarland, Haig, Smith, and Collins. But she's had 2 shutouts, has the potential to grab a third today if the trend continues the way it did in that first one. Up to the plate here for Ferrum. That comes in now 10-29, 3-20 in conference. It's Abby Bradbury, who top of the team in regards to batting averages. Comes in .344 on the season. Sits there in the top 35 of the conference, and she makes her way on to first after the walk. Samantha Smith up to the plate here at the top of the first. Anna Hooper is on deck. Smith, one of the lowest batting averages on this squad, and the 80-plus at-bats she's had this season, just 190, but she's started just about every single game she's appeared in. 38 starts for her now in the 39 games she's played, 15 hits, 17 runs coming into this series, and nice strike thrown from Smith. Smith, of course, a very versatile hitter as well. But last time she was out, it wasn't like it's shorter, where she had 5 strikeouts in 5 innings pitched, no errors as well. Didn't play in the Erskine series, surprising enough. Against Augusta, wasn't the greatest of games for her. 4 errors, just 1 strikeout in 5 innings that she pitched. Augusta was a pretty tough foe. But right now, being here at Varsity Field with a SWU team that has a 14-3 record now here at Varsity Field on Senior Day, she's got a lot of momentum snowballing her way. Nice play, but thrown out on time from Crouch. Lawson had the glove extended. It was a really close call. 50-50 ball there. Goes way of Ferrum, who looks to try and get on the board for the first time in this series in program history. Of course, Ferrum made the jump up to the Division II level and found himself in Conference Carolinas play. And now for Ferrum, They're going to bring up Hannah Hooper, 218 batting average coming into this matchup. Slaps it to the ground, ends up hitting her own shoulder. And a little bit of frustration there from her. Of course, how could there not be? Had a decent game, had a decent outing. Last go round against the Warriors. One of the two players on this squad dotting the last name Hooper. Whether or not they're related, that is a TBD. Gets a piece of it, right towards Crouch, juggles it, throws it on the first. That will be in time. Throws Hooper out of this one, right back to the dugout she goes. Thought she would be quick enough, but the arm of Crouch proves to be quite efficient. By the way, it was a good advancement there from Hooper, getting runners in further scoring position. It's Bradbury at third. And apologies, there's Hooper, then there's Hopper. Nice hit right towards second base, and for Lawson, an easy game of throw and catch. And just like that, SWU keeps them scoreless top of the first. We'll see you at the bottom for some SWU offense. Back to the action, and the action are the SWU Bats. Shout out to Mrs. Haig, by the way. Just granted me the pleasure of being able to meet her first off, and then she also gave me some water, a bit of hydration here on this hot yet sunny day. Beautiful weather, beautiful conditions for some Southern Wesleyan softball. Remains 0-0 here, bottom of the first. And for SWU, coming in here, batting a even 300 on the season. They're going to go ahead and welcome up Marissa Moreland. Led off for the Warriors last go round, and she's really the one who ended up winning the game for the Warriors. But for her, at the leadoff, it's going to be a tough go round. But now for the Warriors, they're welcoming up number one, Chaley Roper. 17th game she's played this season. Here's the first pitch for the senior. out of BHP. Her father, Chad Roper, in attendance today to celebrate her final season in the Warrior blue and white. Here's the pitch. A quick one right down the center. Looked to be potentially a bit too high. Leads us to a 2-0 count for Ferrum. It's going to be Chloe Constantino. A dual threat from a hitting perspective and also a pitching perspective. She has been phenomenal to watch this season. Post a team low 4.02 ERA. 3-13 is the win-loss record for her. Roper works her way on to first after the walk. Will be the 19th walk of Constantino's season. She's had 54 strikeouts, leads the team by miles. But yet to see much of that today. She found one against Moreland in that first at-bat. We'll see if she finds more. Didn't appear in that first game either. Reagan Fulcher to the plate for the Warriors. 19 runs, batting .292, had a run in the last matchup between these two early on today. 18 RBIs, 2 home runs. We'll see how she works against the absolute speedy arm there of Constantino. And for Roper, she looked to steal. She did, and thought about advancing there to third. But Coach Ardeeser, he said, nope, stay there. Stay put at second. Here's the throw from short to first. Either way, maybe out there at first, but Roper, back-to-back steals for her. She's settling down on third. And for Roper, looking for her 9th run of the season, Rebecca Lamb up to the plate. Lamb, who had a phenomenal outing last go-round, and a season best 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs against Lee's McCray. That was early on in March. March was a great month for the Warriors. You look at their schedule, and they have taken down some tough teams. Augusta, one of those tough teams. They also beat Young Harris, who's second in their division. Also was able to beat the likes of Francis Marion here at home, and no Roper to home plate this go-round. It'll be fat goose eggs for both sides here as we go to the top of the second. Already through the first inning, we are here in Central South Carolina. Again, a beautiful day outside, high nearing 76. It is all sunshine. So we're at zeros here. 0-0 with Ferrum trying to strike first and potentially open up the scoring floodgates. It's going to be number 73, Kelsey Marshall, her first appearance today. .297 batting average. We'll see how she works up against Smith. Mike G and I talked about the interesting numbers that this Ferrum team boasted, as we'll see number 73 out. Chloe Smith really took her time there. And Kelsey Marshall, the freshman out of Victoria, Virginia, sent back to the dugout. Lexi Bennett batting a solid .300. Steps up to the plate. A junior out of Roanoke, Virginia. Saying at just 5'5", the product of Cave Spring High School, has had herself just 11 now at bats. And that was a pretty good one there. Able to manage her way on to first in time. We've seen Crouch bobble a few out there at short. That blue glove of hers needs to get a bit stickier. So now we've seen Ferrum advance quite a bit today. Sadie Smith, the catcher, standing at 5'8", a freshman out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. You got to realize that a lot of these girls are on the underclassmen side of things. It's a very young Ferrum team. They've played pretty experienced so far this season. The record doesn't show it, but they played well. Had some very close games as the season's gone along. Nice hit. Looking for the potential double play. They'll call Lexi Bennett out. They're at second. Again, we've seen the ball bobbled quite a bit from SWU. There in the infield. Not much action here in the outfield, but we'll see if number 23, Zoe Sneed, with a 189 batting average, can leverage the sole base runner. Sadie Smith dons first. One of the lower batting averages, near really the tail end with a .097 batting average. A nice pitch there from Smith. Not Sadie Smith, but Chloe Smith. Chloe Smith out of Villa Rica, Georgia. Here's the windup from her. Just a sophomore. And playing lights out on one of the best pitching staffs in the Conference Carolinas. Such a good group of pitchers. Boasts one of the lowest ERAs in the conference. Again, the 2.22 by far one of the most impressive ERAs, maybe even in the country as well. Here's the pitch, swing, and Smith there on first, looking ready to advance. And of course, my name's Colin Calvert. Glad to have you here with us on the Conference Carolinas Digital Network. We've had ourselves a fun day so far. Of course, with great conditions like it is, it's a great day for some softball, and these girls have come out to play, that's for sure. SWU are both the offensive and defensive, and Ferrum there on the offensive. But again, it's just a battle of two totally different teams progress-wise. Ferrum's first season in the Division II. Smith eyes down the runner and sends her home. Smith, the intimidating glare, gets the job done there in the circle. That was huge for the Warriors as they continue the shutout streak. We'll see if that can be changed with some good at-bats. The SWU Bats are back here at the bottom of the second. It's 0-0 here in Central South Carolina. Baseball, we have the first pitch at one of the many wonderful fields that we have here. As we see a fan potentially get hit by the ball. There, off the foul off. One of the many great facilities that we have here. That'll be a first pitch at 5 p.m. Connor Stadium. One of the most impressive looking baseball facilities at the Division II level. But Olivia Haig celebrating her senior day. Might not see her in the circle today, but we've seen her quite often at the plate. One of the best dual threats in the conference. There's the strike. Many called that one a bit too high, evened up at 2s. Here's the pitch. Haig gets a piece of it, drives it straight down the gap. She's on the way to first, and the senior with her first base hit of the day. Couldn't find anything there in the first matchup. Second one, got her warm up, finished and through, and now putting on a show. Abby Schreiner now up to the plate. Runs, 365 batting average so far this season. Might have herself an extra bit of color added to that batting average after a huge hit deep into left field. She'll situate herself there at first. Bring up Abby Lawson. Standout first baseman. Didn't see her at all in that first matchup against Ferrum. Coming off a 1-for-3 in at-bats against Erskine in Game 2. Was 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a double in the first game. That was on the 7th of April. And then had a home run in the first matchup of the first series against Erskine. Man, try and wrap your head around that one. Let's just say she was very impressive. Lawson called out, but it'll be Haig to slide in. Maddie Crouch up to the plate. Haig in the sprinter stance there on third. Crouch 25 runs coming into this series. 1 home run, 16 RBIs. To get SWU on the board with a few RBIs would be a great addition to not only the stat sheet, but just the SWU's resume as a whole this season. Another conference sweep would be phenomenal. He's gotten that done on many occasions. You look most recently at Erskine, Shorter, Emmanuel, Lise McCray, Emmanuel once more, and just like that, Crouch on the way to first. Bases loaded here for Miss Megan Ware, who had the 3-run shot. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, they've got the job done in conference play. Many sweeps. And to do that once more before going on to face Young Harris and Young Harris, Georgia would be phenomenal. Then they'll wrap up the conference Action against Shorter, and then Converse. Both of those all away games. So this, the last away game last home game of the season. So Ware steps up after a phenomenal, exhibition. Not exhibition, but debut against Ferrum. Has a chance here to make some magic happen. Instead, she pops it up high, sky flying, and it's snagged. On the way home, Haig is tagged out. And that'll do it there for the SWU Bats at the bottom of the second. 0-0 remains your score. Ferrum with a defensive showing. Welcome back to the Conference of Carolina's Digital Network. Is Hoxton to go ahead and get things going for Ferrum. Remains 0-0 here, top of the third. A pretty unimpressive batting showcase from the Warriors today. But you look at the pitching staff, and that's got to be one of the most impressive parts of this team. 21st in the country in ERAs. 222 to be exact. Of course, right now, sitting at 16-4 in conference play. SWU really controls their own destiny. And these remaining conference games will mean a great deal, especially against Young Harris. Because if you look at the standings overall, right now in the Southwest, it's not up for grabs per se, but it's going to be a tight one in regards to regional standings, in regards to conference standings, if Southern Wesleyan can't get the job done in Young Harris, Georgia. Then they should cruise by Shorter, as well as Converse. Both teams near the bottom of each of the respective divisions. Converse in the Northwest and Shorter in the Southwest. Shorter sits at 3-9 in division play. Converse 4-12, 6-14 in conference play. Shorter 7-15 in conference play. Back to the top of the third. Second at bat here for Hoxton. 250 the average. We didn't see her much during the season as a whole. Just her fifth start this season. 231 batting average. Just a few at-bats above 10. As she struck out here, no chance against Smith, who has been so dominant. Smith, 30 strikeouts on the season. Make it 31. Some contact being made by the go-to in the batting lineup. In Abby Bradbury. Bradbury, of course, with a .413 on-base percentage. She's definitely the story of individual excellence on a struggling team. It's called in fair, able to hit the top left corner of the field. Bradbury, huge hit, like I said, impressive. Brings up the lefty. Swing and a miss there for number 12, Samantha Smith. 30 strikeouts so far on the season, leads the team by a long shot. Closest to it, 16, there by Hannah Hooper. Ooh, you could see her just eyeing down her bat. Looks like she might even be having a conversation with it. Just trying to figure out what to do here. Like it's Smith. The 1-16 away record, not looking too good right now. She swings at it low. Drop third strike in. She'll be tagged out either way. Here's Lamb getting the job done behind the plate. Great heads-up awareness from her. So, I mentioned the two top individuals in the strikeout category for this team, and Hooper, she's been one of them. 16 on the season, but makes up for it in the amount of power, sheer amount of power she's got. 5 home runs, 14 RBIs, 14 runs on the season, .231 batting average. Nice swing from her. The stop at first, and that'll do it. Ferrum with not a single run on the board. Can SWU keep it that way and potentially open up the scoring gates for themselves? Back here to Central South Carolina Conference Carolina's digital network. It's Moreland, the freshman, up to the plate. It's a huge chunk of it. It's a high flyer towards center field and snagged away by the center fielder. Moreland struck out the first go-round. Second time around, she is going to be having a cry of distress there in the dugout. You can definitely tell the frustration bleeding through there for the freshman. Shaylee Roper now up to the plate from freshman at bat to the senior. Here's the pitch. Well played there by Constantino. Of course, for Chloe Constantino, she's able to play alongside her sister, Carly Constantino. Both of them very respected in their own categories. Carly hitting .357 one of the top on the squad in the 42 at-bat she's seen. And then there's Chloe Constantino, who's got one of the lowest ERAs on the squad. So very impressive from them. Drive for the changeup there is Constantino. Allowed 119 hits, 70 runs, 45 errors for her, and 54 strikeouts. Like I said, a mile above everyone on her squad this season. She's got 1 strikeout today, making it 55. Well, she's walked 2 today, allowed 2 hits. The lone strikeout came, I believe, against Shaylee Roper. Fulcher takes a deep breath, resets herself up at the plate. Here's the pitch, goes low, and Fulcher going to be walked. Rebecca Lamb to take the spot of Fulcher, and Fulcher not afraid to try and steal away. For Fulcher, that was the 10th walk of her season. And there for Lamb, is batting .326. We'll see how she fares here. Be off the bat for a strike. Brings us to the 1-2 count. There's the pitch. Grabs a piece of it is Lamb. Throw it on the run is the third baseman. Well played. And just like that, we remain scoreless here at the top of the 4th. It's coming your way. Now it's SWU back to play some defense. Remains 0-0. The errors were top of the 4th. Ferrum trying to find at least 1 run here in this series. Of course, this is the first time these two teams have met since the jump from the Panthers. And there is a quick gap splitter from their leadoff. And Sydney Bassan, who's hitting .255 on the season, goes ahead and grabs her first base hit of the day. We'll see a quick meeting in the circle between catcher and pitcher, and we'll be right back as the pinch hitter heads in for the Panthers. It was a quick meeting there on the circle. And now brings up number 73 in Marshall, trying to play some small ball. No advancement there on first. Pinch runner here for the Panthers looks to be number 5. Number 5 is going to be Taylor Klassen, who's now making her 10th appearance this season. Again, small ball there from Kelsey Marshall. Trying to work the count. It's 0-2 here. It's the only tough part about it. We're trying to work pitches like that and play small ball is that oftentimes you find yourself in more unfavorable conditions in regards to the striking count. She's got 13 on the season, could find her 14th year. It's the 0-2 here for Smith. Chloe Smith looking for her 4th win of the season. That'll be just outside the box. And again, Taylor Klassen there on first, pinch running. Heaves this one up, and wow, look at there. Call it an assist, why don't you? The unintentional out from Fulcher to Roper. Talk about backing up your second baseman. Sports Center top 10 play there. And some elite defense brings up the first out of the day. Or of the inning, I should say. Now it's Lacey Bennett batting at even 300, making her 21st appearance and 3rd start of the season. Just her 11th at bat. We'll see how she works it. Kicks it deep right center field, and Roper back-to-back outs for her. Huge. And now Sadie Smith up to the plate. Had a nice at-bat last go-round. Smith just 111 so far this season after that first matchup. 3 RBIs as well. All she's got is Chasson there at first. Here's the pitch. Nice grounder out to Fulcher, trying to make the tag there at second, and that she does. And the Ferrum dugout explodes. And the Ferrum coaching trying to contest this one, and we'll see if that ends up being the case. We'll take a short break as they try and decide. The contention is ruled in Ferrum's favor. The Panthers claw their way out of that hole, and of course, going back to recap what exactly happened, it was a tag with the gloved hand of Fulcher there at second. Ball wasn't in her glove. Many thought the process would be more like it's like snapping on the bag, basically. You don't have to touch the ball to the bag. But the umpires say differently. So now brings up number 23, Zoe Sneed. The delay was due to Rebecca Lamb having to get on her catcher gear. They get behind plate once more. Beating there from Smith, just trying to rally the troops. Tell her, hey guys, just a small road bump. A small obstacle in this matchup. But SWU has to be on their P's and Q's the rest of this game. Of course, remaining still here at the top of the fourth. Plenty of room to go here. 3 more innings. We'll decide a winner. Unless SWU just gets electric. Or Ferrum gets electric here to try and potentially run rule each other. But right now it looks like it's been a pitching duel so far today. Just a great defensive showcase on both sides. And just look at the stats overall as a team. It's been 4 hits from Ferrum, 2 from SWU, 5 left on base from Ferrum, 4 left on from SWU, 16 at-bats for the Panthers, just 10 for SWU. We've seen SWU get walked 3 times. The 12 putouts from the Warriors and an even better strikeout. Huge from Smith. An exclamation point to that dramatic inning. And we'll see you at the bottom of the 4th for some SWU bats. Can the momentum continue? It's time for Hague to shine here on Senior Day in Central South Carolina. Of course, she's had herself quite the day, quite the afternoon. And the first game wasn't as spectacular for her, but her first at-bat earlier today was. Got herself a nice base hit. Batting .275, 22 runs, 2 home runs, 23 RBIs heading into this matchup here. We'll see how she fights up against Constantino. Drives it right down the third base line. Here comes Hague, sprinting from first to second. And that'll be a nice double there for the senior. And they're going to award it a foul ball instead. Looked to me like contact was made before it hit off the bag. Coach Arties are not too happy with that call. We've seen quite a few calls not go SWU's way today. Hey, gotta shake it off and continue to play. The changeup from Constantino will be a ball. Brings us to the 2-1. Continue to make contact, though, is Haig. Sits at an even count, 2-2. Way too high, but man, Constantino has got herself quite the quick pitch. Full count here for Haig. Here's the pitch. Straight down the right side of the box and just a little bit outside. Haig walks herself onto first. One hit, one walk. We're going to see a discussion between the umpire as well as Constantino. Shriner up to the plate, and she has been consistent today. One hit, the one at bat she's had, but no runs. That's what SWU's missing. They've got all the pieces to the equation, but just don't have that final answer here at the bottom of the fourth. Shriner, the bouncer on to third, bobbled, thrown in time. Shriner not quick enough to first, but nonetheless advances Haig to second. One out there for SWU. They've still got plenty of wiggle room. Lawson heads up, 304 batting average. $14 runs, 4 home runs, 19 RBIs for the first baseman. Constantino has been a walk party today. 4 batters walked, 1 strikeout for her, allowed 2 hits. But she's been a shutout so far today. 1-1 the count here, 1 out. Lawson boots it right through the gap. Here comes Haig. She rounds third on the way home. And Lawson, huge double. The freshman on fire and gives the spark that SWU needed to get the scoring going. They lead 1-0. And now it's Maddie Crouch, batting .211 after a phenomenal freshman campaign where she hit .318. Right now her defense, speed, really carrying her, but the bat needs to wake up. Was walked once today, 1 home run, 16 RBIs, 25 runs for her. Tries to play some small ball again. That speed is what really keeps her in the starting lineup. Big hit from Crouch right towards center field. No movement there from Lawson on second. So Crouch, again, not in her favor here. Was walked the first go-round, and second go-around pops it out. Here comes Megan Ware, the sophomore out of Fuquay Varina, North Carolina. Has been near perfect over the past few series. Last time she really struggled was against Augusta. Erskine, she dominated. Ware sends it right to the third baseman's glove. Here comes Lawson. She's going to score. And Ware continues that near-perfect streak. So Lawson scores, and Ware, the big reason, had that 3-run shot in the first game and grabs an RBI here. She's been phenomenal. 22 RBIs in her season now. Ware, the speedster, on the way to second, slides in, stands up. Some swagger there for number 3. Now it's Moreland to the plate. Grabs it right through the gap. Splits it. Here comes Ware. She's rounding third on the way home. Is she in time? Yes, she is. This has been SWU's inning from the get-go. 3-zip. The question is, are we going to see Constantino check out? Yes, we will. New pitcher coming in for the Panthers of Ferrum. It's going to be number 24, Wynema Thomas. 16 appearances for her. She's got a 1-1 win-loss record and a 4.20 ERA. Good for second on the squad. Well, third on the squad if you can include number 16 for the Panthers, who's unlisted on the roster, on the stat sheet at least. She's got an 0-3 record, 2.45 ERA in 8 appearances. But back to Wynema Thomas. 16 appearances, she's allowed 37 hits, 22 runs, 18 errors, 9 batters walked, 8 strikeouts, and 8 doubles. Opponents against her batting .291 on average. We'll take a second for her to warm up here and be right back. Well, that was a quick warm-up as we see Jaylee Roper up to the plate. Try to work off the changeup there from Thomas. Roper grabs the chunk of it up, and away. But out of play he goes. Roper, this time it might be fair, and it'll be a foul ball. Thomas's pitch called short due to the umpire there. And then we're going to see Thomas let this one loose. Wide outside the box in the steal. And Marissa Borland, the freshman, who had a frustrating first few at-bats, come out to play here. Roper should launch once today. Sends it right past the shortstop into left center field. And advances Borland 4-0. Warriors lead the way. Roper, quick feet. All the way to second she goes, and she'll be safe on the steal. Roper on the way to third. Back-to-back steals there for the senior. She wants a run. Fulcher was walked last go round. Swings at it. Fulcher grabs a chunk of it, bobbled by the third baseman, thrown out on time to first. And Roper scores, brings it to a 5-0 lead. All runs coming here at the bottom of the fourth. Rebecca Lamb up to the plate. Thomas just trying to get out of this inning here. Already the 0-2 count working in her favor. The 0-2 count, that one way too high. Lamb swings at it, and that'll do it for that bottom of the fourth. Man, tough inning there for Ferrum, but finally Thomas was able to get him out of it. See you at the top of the fifth, and if SWU scores a few more, they might be able to walk this one off. Welcome back here. It's the bottom, or the top of the fifth. My apologies. Here at Conference Carolina's digital network, and the Ferrum Panthers trying to fight back after a really tough bottom of the fourth defensive outing. Now it's time for SWU to play defense and Ferrum to try and find anything, get to score a run all today. The pitch from Smith finds its mark and finds its mark well, but not well enough for the umpire's liking. Makes it a 1-0 pitch count. Pop the grounder on the way to Lawson at first, and that'll do it for the first out of the day. And by the day, I mean here at the top of the fifth. Lawson's throw on time. One out away from getting the offense back and ready to potentially close this one. Here's the pitch from Smith. Here's the pitch, straight down the middle. Well, now working on Emily Hopper. 259 is the batting average. Pops it low, it's a runner right down the first base line, goes out and away. A chase down, it'll fall up and out of play. Outside, 1-2 the count. One more good pitch could do it. The SWU bats out and rolling once more. And that she does. Smith gets it done there in the circle. Now it's up to the bats to try and make some magic happen. 3 more runs could potentially seal the deal. Would seal the deal here for SWU. Could sign it on the dotted line and win out senior day. Haig trying to get things going, the senior. Pressure from Jordan McConnell. They had some phenomenal performances while she was there. Of course, you look at the time that she had there with Jordan McConnell. Was tied third in the nation for the NAIA saves. Made the conference tournament. Also pitched in 41 innings as a freshman, struck out 40 batters, recorded 2.39 ERA, and from there, this is a freshie to now leading the conference in ERA and also being a phenomenal batter. 1 hit, 1 walk, 275 batting average. And she'll be struck out here. Unfortunate. 3 more runs can do it here for SWU. Schreiner to try and get some momentum rolling here for the Warriors. But we're seeing Thomas play some good ball right now. 1-1. Schreiner thought about it. Instead leads to a 1-2 count. Schreiner pops it up and away. Second out. Not much wiggle room here for SWU to try and walk it off. They can there in the 6th. But then again, they're going to bring up Lawson, who had a phenomenal RBI early on. It was a double that led to that scoring situation. We'll see if some traction can be brought from her for Ferrum's right now defensive momentum after a really tumultuous bottom of the 4th. We're seeing this defense start to come alive with Thomas having entered the game. Lawson swinging out of her cleats. Brings it to a 1-1, 2 outs here for SWU. Lawson, nice blue hit, makes her way on to first. Maddie Crouch now to the plate. Crouch launches this one deep center field and snagged away. On to the top of the 6th we go. It's Ferrum trying to crack down on the current deficit here. 5-0. Smith remains in the circle. Nice pitch, but just to the outside. The 2-0 count. Macy Bell trying to work on Smith. Gets a chunk of it. Almost caught by a fan. Emphasis on the word almost. And another strikeout. Seeing some impressive play here from Chloe Smith. 5 strikeouts. Now on the day, she has been elite. Smith 35 strikeouts so far, and now brings up Sydney Basson. 1-0 count. Smith against Basson. Basson launches it. Thought it was caught by Crouch. She seals the deal there at first. Nice throw there to Lawson. Kayla Rudd, 7 runs, 4 RBIs, 171 batting average. Right now they're just throwing anything they can at SWU. The bouncer onto Fulcher, onto Lawson. Easy said, easy done. SWU going to get another chance to try and walk this one off here at the bottom of the 6th. Now back to the action, and it's going to be senior number 24, Madison Napper. 3rd game she's appeared in this season, just her 4th at bat. Her against Thomas. Throws it low, brings us to the 1-1 count. Once again, thrown low. A real dirt ball there. Brings it to a 2-1. Here's the pitch. Napper swings at it, gets some good contact. 2-2 Napper right down the first baseline. Hey, got some nice contact on it and was able to keep it in play, and unfortunately was tagged out there at first. Now it's Roper. Back-to-back seniors coming up to play. Oh, apologies. Roper on deck. It's Moreland. Standout freshman getting a piece of this one. It's deep diving towards center field and snagged. Huge play. Roper had herself a day today. So if this one results in being an out, at the top of the seventh, the SWU defense can really show out. They can finalize this one. Now I got to go back and credit Samantha Smith for that over-the-shoulder grab. Looking directly into the sun, too. Here's the pitch from Thomas. Straight down the middle, strike. Full count here for Roper. Roper up towards me here in the field house. Great facilities we have here at Southern Wesleyan. Well-cut grass, well-maintained field, and an awesome press box. Here's the 3-2 count, and Roper will walk. Up comes Fulcher, batting .292. 19 runs, 2 home runs, 18 RBIs. Just getting on base here will be huge. Especially since on deck is Rebecca Lamb. She's been a power hitter all season long. 3 home runs for her, 18 RBIs as well. A lot of spin on that one, but it's fair. Roper caught in a twister. She's tagged out. And now it's going to be up to the SWU defense here, top of the 7th, to try and get this one done. If they can hold Ferrum scoreless or just below 5 runs, then they'll sweep this series. It's Harley Hoffman now in the circle for the Warriors to try and seal the deal. Up against number 6 in Lexi Bennett. Hoffman with a 1.83 ERA, 1 win in 5 appearances. Hoffman so far this season, just 7.2 innings pitched. Allowed 6 hits, 2 runs. She's had 2 errors, 1 walk, but she's had 11 strikeouts. That's more than impressive. Looking for one here against Bennett. It's a 3-0 count. Here's the pitch. Going low, and 4th ball results in a walk there for Bennett. Swing at it, brings it to an 0-2 count. Of course, Harley Hoffman, a freshman out of Appling, Georgia. Last time she made an appearance was against Erskine on the 2nd of April. Had 1 strikeout in 3 batters faced. Final score is 15-0 there. Has also faced off against Emmanuel, Johnson C. Smith. Emmanuel once more early on in March, and then LMU. Most she's ever pitched was 4 innings against Johnson C. Smith. Allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 errors, but had 4 strikeouts. That's her season high. So the bouncer on the way to first. Lawson tried to make the double play, but nice throw there from Ware. Put the first out on the board. Ferrum with Bennett there on second. And Sophia Peters here to the plate. Peters, 182 batting average. Her 19th appearance this season. Makes it 3-0, the count. Hoffman saying maybe they need to be a bit higher. Looking for that second out. And a walk there. Runners on first and second. Hoffman in discussion with Fulcher alongside Abby Schreider, who's been great behind plate today. Lacey Garrett comes up and takes the first base spot to pinch run. Thinking of short game. Here for number 15, Cassie Swink. Apologies, this is Hoxton. Up to the plate. Runners on first and second. Just one out. Right down the middle, Hoffman starting to find a groove here. Hoxton. One strikeout today. Another would be phenomenal here just for the confidence of Hoffman. Swing and a miss. That'll get her one step closer to it. Plenty of fans here today for Senior Day. A huge showing at Varsity Field and struck out. Hoxton. See you later. Back to their ace, Abby Bradbury. Getting her out seals the deal here and finalizes the sweep of Ferrum. Up, and away. That'll do it. The game is finished and done. SWU takes it home, finishes out the series with a sweep. And what better day to do it than here on Senior Day. Warriors win it here in 7.